Hey, what's up you guys? It's Dorothy and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by and joining us on this adventure. In today's video, we're going to go into Chapter 6, Part 2, so let's get right into this video. This video may contain sensitive topics and foul language. If you do not wish to continue, please click off of the video now. You have been warned. Nate, Sunday, September 30th, 12:30 p.m. My probation officer isn't the worst. She's in her 30s, not bad looking, and she has a sense of humor, but she's a pain in my ass about school. How'd your history exam go? We're sitting in the kitchen for our usual Sunday meeting. Stan's hanging out on the table, which she's fine with since she likes him. My dad is upstairs, something I always arrange before Officer Lopez comes over. Part of her job is to make sure I'm being adequately supervised. She knew his deal the first time she saw him, but she also knows I've got nowhere else to go, and state care can be way worse than alcoholic neglect. It's easier to pretend he's a fit guardian when he's not passed out in the living room. It went, I say. She waits patiently for more. When it doesn't come, she asks, "Did you study?" I've been kind of distracted, I reminded her. She heard the Simon story from her cop pals, and we spent the first half hour after she got here talking about what happened. I understand, but keeping up with school is important, Nate. It's part of the deal. She brings up the deal every week. San Diego County is getting tougher on juvenile drug offenses, and she thinks I was lucky to get probation. A bad report from her could put me back in front of a pissed-off judge. Another drug bust could land me in juvie. So every Sunday morning before she shows up, I gather up all of my unsold drugs and burner phones and stick them in our senile neighbor's shed, just in case. Officer Lopez holds out her palm to Stan, who crawls halfway toward it before he loses interest. She picks him up and lays him across her arm. How has your week been otherwise? Tell me something positive that has happened. She always says that, as if life is full of great shit I can store up and report every Sunday. I got to 3,000 in Grand Theft Auto. She rolls her eyes. She does that a lot at my house. Something else. What progress have you made toward your goals? Jesus, my goals? She made me write a list at our first appointment. There's not anything I actually care about on there, just stuff. I know she wants to hear about school and jobs and friends, which she figured by now I don't have. I have people I go to parties with, sell to, and screw, but I wouldn't call any of them my friends. It's been a slow week, goal-wise. Did you look at the all-teen literature I left you? Nope, I didn't. I don't need a brochure to tell me how bad it sucks when your only parent's a drunk, and I definitely don't need to talk about it with a bunch of whiners in a church basement somewhere. Yeah, I lie. I'm thinking about it. I'm sure she sees right through me since she's not stupid, but she doesn't push it. That's good to hear. Sharing experiences with other kids whose parents are struggling would be transformative for you. Officer Lopez doesn't let up. You have to give her that. We could be surrounded by walking dead in the zombie apocalypse, and she'd look for the bright side. Your brains are still in your head, right? Why beat the odds? Excuse me. She'd love just wants to hear an actual positive thing from me. Like how I spent Friday night with Ivy League-bound Browen Rojes and didn't disgrace myself. But that's not a conversation I need to open up with Officer Lopez. I don't know why I showed up there. I was restless, staring at the Vatican I had left over after drop-off and wondering if I could take a few and see what all the fuss is about. I've never gone down that road because I'm pretty sure it ended with me comatose in the living room alongside my dad until someone kicked us out for not paying the mortgage. So I went to Browen's instead. I didn't expect her to come outside or invite me in. Listening to her play the piano had a strange effect on me. I almost felt peaceful. How is everyone coping with Simon's death? Have they held the funeral yet? It's today. The school sent an email. I glance at the clock on our microwave. In about half an hour. Her brows shoot up. Nate, you should go. That would be a positive thing to do. Pay your respects. Gain some closure after a traumatic event. No thanks. She clears her throat and gives me a shrewd look. Let me put it in another way. Go to the goddamn funeral, Nate McCauley, or I won't overlook your spotty school attendance the next time I file up an update report. I'll come with you. Which is how I end up at Simon Keller's funeral with my probation officer. We're late at St. Anthony's Church is packed, so we barely find a spot in the last pew. The service hasn't started, but no one's talking and when the old guy in front of us coughs, it echoes through the room. The smell of incense brings me back to grade school when my mother used to take me to Mass every Sunday. I haven't been to church since then, but it looks almost exactly the same. Red carpet, shiny dark wood, tall stained glass windows. The only thing that's different is the place is crawling with cops, not in uniform, but I can tell, and Officer Lopez can too. After a while, some of them look my way and I get a paranoid she's led me into some kind of trap, but I don't have anything on me, so why do they keep staring at me? Not only me. I follow the gazes to Browen, who's near the front, and her parents to Cooper, and the blonde girl sitting in the middle with her friends. The back of my neck tingles, and not in a good way. My body tenses, ready to bolt until Officer Lopez puts a hand on my arm. She doesn't say anything, but I stay put. A bunch of people talk, nobody I know except the goth girl who used to follow Simon everywhere. She reads a weird rambling poem and her voice shakes the whole time. The past and the present wilt. I'll have filled them, emptied them, and promised to fill my next fold of the future. Listener up there, what have you confided to me? Look in my face while I snuff the sidle of evening. Talk honestly. No one else hears you, and I stay only a minute longer. Do I contradict myself? Very well, then I contradict myself. I am large, I contain multitudes. Will you speak before I am gone? Will you prove already too late? I depart as air, I shake my white locks as the runaway sun. I effuse my flesh in eddies and drift in the lacy gags. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. If you want me again, look for me under your boot soles. You will hardly know who I am or what I mean, but I shall be good health to you nonetheless, and filter and fiber your blood. Failing to fetch me as the first, keep encouraged. Missing me one place, search another. I stop somewhere waiting for you. Song of myself, Officer Lopez murmurs when the girl finishes. Interesting choice. There's music, more readings, and finally it's over. The priest tells us the burial is going to be private, family only. Fine by me. I've never wanted to leave any place so bad in my life, and I'm ready to take off before the funeral procession comes down the aisle. But Officer Lopez has her hand on my arm again. A bunch of senior guys carry Simon's casket out the door. A couple dozen people dressed in dark colors file out after them, ending with a man and a woman holding hands. The woman has a thin, angular face like Simon. She's staring at the floor, but as she passes our pew, she looks up, catches my eye, and chokes out a furious sob. More people crowd the aisles, and someone edges into the pew with Officer Lopez and me. It's one of the plainclothes cops, an older guy with a buzz cut. I can tell right away he's not Bush League like Officer Budapest. He smiles like we've met before. Nate McCauley, he asks. You've got a few minutes, son? That is the end of chapter 6. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!